Take the journey, come on, let's go. Ooh yeah, where the stars and secrets flow. Some Nation X radios glow. In the night, we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Night sky whispers in the dark. Secret trails will leave a mark. Follow close, ignite that spark. We're alive, it's just the start. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. Every heartbeat, pure delight. So mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. It's every heartbeat, pure delight. Mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. It's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the journey, come on, let's go. Feel it. Oh yeah, where the stars and secrets flow so bright. Some Nation X radios glow. Oh no, in the night we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Come with us and let it go, go, go. Unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown, shown. sky. ET whispers, look up, don't be shy. Paranormal tales woven into fate as Coley invites us to contemplate. Heavy beats. Feel that chill when shadows align. Experiences unfold, one of a kind. Off-world encounters, truths they must find. Open your heart, release your mind. Take the leap, step into the night. With SNX RADIO we will ignite a symphony of strange where the bass drops low. Journeying deep where the unknown flows. What lies beyond the veil of sight? What secrets kept from our human plight? Coley's conversations stir the thread. An awakening call for the living and the dead. Take the leap, step into the night. With SNX RADIO we will ignite a symphony of strange where the bass drops low. Journeying deep where the unknown flows. As the echoes fade and the night draws near, the truths we seek become crystal clear. With SNX RADIO, keep your mind open wide, for in this journey we all confide.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I have a very exciting guest tonight, but before I go there, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Gosh, Polly Roderman, hey girl, hope you're feeling better. It's nice to see you in the chat. Whispering Portals, Laura, it's nice to see you. MadPack777, as always, you guys are awesome. Let's see. Oh, Kitty Cat Whack. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yes, that's awesome. Whispering Portals, Laura, and I know I did not get you a DM, but I will, because we are definitely, oh yeah, and Pseudoname is in here. Welcome. This is, they subscribed yesterday and they ended up catching the show, so that's very cool. Let's see. Mod packs. Oh, I like that. Chirao Sounds. Nice to see you. Whispering. Oh, thank you, Laura. That's awesome. Whispering Portals. Why does it say you're a new member? Maybe it's not. Okay. I think it's you. Anyway, let me know if it's not and check. Kurt W75 is in the house. So nice to see you, Kurt. Joseph Finch. Hey, it's very nice to see you and welcome. And then hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but if not, I'm going to get right into it right now. So you guys, we have Joe. This isn't Joe's first time on the show. Joe's actually been on the show before. So this is kind of his second time, his first time just being on my show. So a little bit about Dr. Joe is that he's a spiritual guide, who has been very clear, in other words, helpful, and compassionate and trust, developed fluency in matters of the earth or eternal soul, which becomes very focused on as you trust more and more. Let's see here. He looks into great purpose. He's a Reiki master, and he does everything. He's very cool. He's very cool. He's very spiritual, but very unconditional love, that type of stuff. He also does a Zoom call if anybody's interested every Saturday, so he can tell you a little bit more about that. But without further ado, I'm just going to bring Dr. Joe on. Welcome back, Dr. Joe. You are on. I just wanted to know if you, you know what? You're muted. This is why. So is that better? Let me get that better.
Hello.
Hello and welcome back. I know I probably didn't do everything justice, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do? And I told them, do still do the Saturday Zoom calls? Or was it
Uh,
Sunday?
yeah, no, Sundays for sure. Saturdays, it's a brand new thing that I've been just started. That's the Path of Healing. That's open to anybody. It's on the school app, which is with a K, which is just a free kind of video togetherness thing. And then on Sundays, I do a Zen Sunday school through my Facebook events at 11 a.m. And I do something called Zoom Forward Personal Alignment on a Zoom link Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. But yeah, I'm open, to anything. If someone wanted me to come do an event on their page or group or even in person, so to speak, all of that is my business. And if anybody is interested in me, but they don't know specifically what it is, reach out anyways, and we can talk about it. Don't worry about that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing. So you're on school. I was thinking about that, but do you like it or so far?
Yeah, no, it certainly gets the job done, I guess, so to speak, to use the simple phrase. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fine. Yeah.
And why don't you, for people who don't know, like what you get into, because everybody, just because spiritual doesn't mean that none of it's the same. Why don't you kind of tell them what kind of practice you're from or what your kind of school of thought is, so to speak, on everything? Because you do have a really neat perspective on things.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. School of thought made me smile a lot. So I think, yeah. I guess to share, I mean, I about myself, I'm a Zen Buddhist, is my religion, and it's going to stay that way for the rest of time. I can already tell. And I do consider myself a follower of Christ. I very much do believe in God. And I guess what's nice about me is I don't have any of that tendency to push people away or try to encourage them. Kind of, what's that one where you put the bread out for the birds? There's a word for it. I'm forgetting the English word right now, where you coax. That's what it is. So I don't really have that kind of push pull in me religiously and or otherwise. I see it as ultimately just disingenuous and kind of against the point of life, honestly. Because I say that because sometimes people could say the exact same words that I say, but they might have hints of it or it might be glaring. And yeah, I'm very proud of that aspect of myself. And but yeah, and Zen, Zen, Zen just means to see clearly. So really, I mean, everything that I stand for is about clearer sight. And But yes, as far as school of thought goes, I mean, yes, nice to meet you too. As far as school of thought goes, I mean, I can go a lot into that because, as Miss Weber knows, I have a book called The Reform of the Education System. So it's kind of a deep well of, I guess to use the analogy of water, I guess is the right element, something that satiates us, that has a nutrition in it, that isn't kind of just on the surface, in that kind of way. Something that I could bring up to start, is the school of thought. I actually came up with my own philosophy. I have a philosophy in that book, in the Reform of the Education System, and it's the only book that it's in that I have so far. It might get repeated later on if I'm writing another book. It's called The Philosophy of Life Promotion. And it's not a super long chapter, and it's pretty easy for people to kind of grab and to hold on to, or kind of like, even you could say, plant your feet on it, in the sense that if someone was to take on a philosophy, it's more of like that you're standing on it, right? It's kind of like when you go out the door kind of idea, and walk around, it's kind of there, as part of your makeup. But yeah, I guess a little explanation of that. Certainly not to discredit my very thoughtfully put together words in the book, but I'll attempt, I guess. The philosophy of life promotion, there's a beautiful quote, and it's basically, a paraphrase it's about every human being was once a child, and children naturally will kind of get up and run. And in that way, that our attitude about that whole thing that I kind of just, which is just generally true, should be we're working to purify that in the sense that we can see that that's already the case. And so it's basically that the child running through the field shouldn't be prevented from running, which you can interpret kind of as a law, like the constitutional even kind of, mindset of law. And then also that we should do what we can to encourage all of the children to run, which is kind of a, I guess in that kind of way, you can take that kind of simple lens or scope, and you can kind of filter in, different things, intricacies of life into it, which is what a philosophy is exactly. And then basically then you have something that is undoubtedly great. So you don't have to go through your life questioning yourself or your intentions or your instincts or your where, what you stand for, and that can be a very, I mean, that's guaranteed, psychologically speaking, a better way of living. So yeah, there you go. That's I guess a good start for tonight.
No, I like that. And when you're talking about school reform, can you kind of go into a little bit more about, like, I guess, who is it intended for? Is it like a school of thought? Are you talking about the school of life? Are you talking about in our schools? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, school. I kind of want to go with this first. I have I came up with my own 4 base courses, and uh what's the other part? The other part is my vision. So I came up with that on my own, and it's, a percentage, very much in the minority, rather than the majority of this entire book. Um, and yeah, the whole book is going to be over, depending on formatting, I would say at least 350, 60, 70 pages. By far my longest book. And this chunk of it that is just my school idea is about 20 to 30 pages of that. And I call it a complete parentheses R and parentheses life on earth school, a completer life on earth school. But yeah, basically, uh, yeah, I mean, I guess in this kind of way that we can allow, um, our minds to kind of, the same idea kind of as the philosophy, in the sense of our minds naturally kind of crave certain things, right? Every human being has needs, in that way. And that's literally how I wrote that section of that book. I took a list of human needs, and then I applied how my a completer life on earth school, which is completely original. There's no other influence. Well, influence, I guess, is a word, but it's completely something I came up with on my own, in light of all of these wonderful, this entire shared world that we have, and everything. So it's not that I was in denial of our world when I was coming up with it, which wouldn't be as good. But anyways, I basically kind of took a list of needs that actually was beyond 8, which is pretty decent amount already. 8 of, basic human needs. I Googled it, and it ended up becoming a longer list that's more like 15 or something like that. And, belonging, what is it? Belonging, I was going to say like expression, coming up with things on your own and that are different than other people's things, that your preferences are different than theirs. So the list goes on and on. But basically what I did is I took the list, and then I put it I weighted against all of these classes that I came up with and the whole vision. So the entire school its metal is being proven, I could say, in those pages, intellectually alone first, and then people can feel much, much more comfortable if they were to take it on in real life, through that expose, based off of purely, to use the word again, undebatable science in the field specifically of psychology, that we know these needs are real, and we know that the effects of them being met or not met are real and consistent and objective. And basically that's all I needed to go off of, to basically prove how this would or would not work in our shared world, my completer life on earth school. And I also do in that book have a way to apply outside of my thing that I just explained, which is the original idea for its own school. I've been calling it from the dirt, meaning that there was dirt there, and then you'd have to put everything else. But basically, I do have also in there an application to what is already going on, how to start reform without any putting of your foot, meaning like you just go in there and you talk and you express, and you would be able to achieve reform through communication alone, without having to make any claims or conditions or anything at all like that. So that's me in that book. And I also don't shy away from being a spiritual guide in the book. I noticed it became impossible, so I gave into it. And I even say it in the book. I go, I know this is a reform book and it's not spiritual, and I'm a spiritual guide. And we have that idea of separation in church and state, of church and state, Dr. Joe, before we open it up. But basically, it became the thing that this is spiritual guidance. It is that, but I'm not convincing you of a religion, but the truth is very much, excitedly to personify the truth, very much involved in the book, and very much involved in our education system and in our lives. And in that way, it would be, like I said, it became impossible as I was writing the book to disengage from that, which is what I guess you could say, aim to admire generally, I guess, in that kind of way, being spiritual myself, obviously, and recognizing that, I don't, it doesn't go outside of that, right? Spirituality is a personal, why we call them personal religious experiences is because all three of those words are very true. Personal religious experiences, right? And that in that way that you take away one of the words out of those three and you don't have the whole thing anymore, right? Kind of in that kind of way, so to speak, which is a very long, that's like an essay, that someone could write on that. But yeah, so that's that. Hopefully we'll be in print before Christmas.
Oh, wow. So this is kind of this isn't the book that's out. This is the book you're writing. Is that what you're saying?
So, yes, I have one book that's in print right now that you can order whenever you want over Amazon. That's called My Own Religion, The Power of Love. It's a manifesto. It's in black and white and color. And it is 266 pages paperback. And I picked 46 different topics ranging from honor, music. There's a chapter called Feeling Your Feelings, which has to do with suicidality. There's one called Being in Love. There's one called Healing, Mental Conditions and Altered States. There's one about angels and spiritual guides. There's one called The Power of Being Weird, which is very serious in the sense of transcending our fear of truly living. There's one called My Path Toward God. There's one, what else? So there's a lot. Yeah, there's one called Grace, What Is It Really? Yeah. There's one called Guru, I think. It's just Guru, Guru. There's one called Devotion also, I believe.
These are all your books?
These are the chapter titles in the first book.
Oh, I was like, where did you come up with all these books?
Not yet. No, that's like 15.
Yeah, sorry, and you just kind of, and I'm like, there's no way, because last time I knew there was one. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you. You know it well. That's good.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was like, what in the world? That's so funny. Like, Joe, man, you've been busy for like the last couple months since I've seen you last. Oh man, you do a lot of work. So primarily, I guess, if people were to come to you first, what type of services do you offer?
Yes, so I'm a Reiki master, which is I like to think of it in the sense that my perspective on Reiki is pure enough that I would like to think of it as kind of like my poster, like the first thing that people know about me or can kind of connect the dot to me as a person, which I think is the highest reality. But I have been, I could be quoted having said, if I was at a luncheon, you'd see my name, Dr. Joe, and then it would say spiritual guide under it, which is certainly, it's my main title is spiritual guide. But yeah, so Reiki is energy medicine, and I'm a master in that. And I have a whole book on that. I'm very comfortable talking about it in all of its facets. Sometimes people can say up to a certain point, right? Even if they're very seriously considered maybe an expert on something, they have a little bit of a corner maybe missing. Mine is completely blank white with Reiki. Every single possible corner I am comfortable opening my mouth about or refusing to actually go into, right? Which has to do with the nature of light, right? That you're recognizing what is right and wrong in the moment. And that's actually a chapter name in my book, The Reiki Bible, A Guide to Reiki Living, The Nature of Light. Yes. So I'm a Reiki master, spiritual guide, spiritual guidance. I put a video on my website, joevertino.org. Take out the doctor part, joevertino.org. And that's me. That's my website. I have a video with a beautiful dashiki, blue and gold dashiki, which is like a traditional cultural garb that is kind of formal, but it's very comfortable. Doesn't have collars. It even has polo shirts beat, so to speak. But
Nice.
that video is called Spiritual Guidance, or what is the point? Sorry, what is the point of spiritual guidance? And in that video, I make it very clear, which is my job, right? To provide clarity and not confusion. So much so that people can discern, tomorrow and next week and next year, from my influence after, a certain amount of time with them. But the point of spiritual guidance, I present it as only to encourage meditative awareness. So in that way, there's no other strings to pull or doors to open, or windows to shut. It's just encouraging meditative awareness. And then basically, naturally, you might have some people kind of stare at you with their eyes like this for a little bit. You might have their eyebrows go up for a second or something. But basically, what is that face about is what you just said, Dr. Joe, meditative awareness. Okay. So, because I would probably just sit there for a minute, right? If they didn't ask anything after that. I mean, meditative awareness is basically, it's basically that we exist and that, we have an ability, so to speak, to use a word, to perceive deeper. And the thing is, how do you do that? Well, perception isn't like my hand is in time and space. So my hand is able to move through 3D reality, right? This way of, volume and width and, the physical dimensions and our perception. How does the dimension of our perception deepen? How does that get deeper? Right? Like, I imagine like Mario Kart where he goes down the tunnel thing, right? And he's do 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 do, and he goes
I'm envisioning that in my head right now. Yeah.
down. So how do you do that? And that's the thing, is that there is, that's what meditative awareness is, and the whole video is about, is that deepening of that perception that doesn't have a direction physically. So then what do we do? Well, that's what meditation is. You're stopping the physical part and you are, well, and then at that point, after hearing my words so far, sometimes people can be, unfortunately, not this group, but other people, unfortunately, can be unclear on their intention, right? We could say
Attention is
generally,
important. Yeah.
yeah, their intention for sitting still, their intention for meditating, their intention, in that way, because now our intention is very clear right now. What is it? To deepen our perception, right? And we understand that we have perception and we haven't deepened it yet. So we don't know what that would be right away, right? It's impossible. But yet, really, all it is right there is an excitement, right? That's it. And then it's like, okay, now I can do something with this excitement. And if you're interested, coming this direction, so to speak, towards me, I'm very receptive. And all of my one-on-one work is personal and confidential. I do relationship alignment also. And what else? Meditation alignment, artistic alignment, and what's the other one? Career alignment. So all of these are different sections of my one-on-one work, so to speak, but it can definitely be said that my work with any kind of group or workshops or events, is all related to these same exact kind of things or skills. that you would notice would be present in that. But basically, yeah, so spiritual guidance, it's intuitive work with people in the sense that you're naturally encouraging meditative awareness no matter what. By, I guess you could say, by that Instagram is just Andromeda Joe 811 if you type it in on Instagram. Andromeda Joe 811 right there.
Okay, is that correct for the? Was that your IG account?
Yeah,
Right
it was
one?
the link instead of the actual name, so that's why I said.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay, I got you.
but they could copy paste the whole link. But anyways,
Just before you go back into it, what's your YouTube so people know? I didn't pull it. Can you give me your YouTube handle and then I'll get people to, because you're also streaming from there too. So I was gonna let the people know in chat that so they can, because you do a lot of stuff over on YouTube.
yeah, my YouTube is streaming. This is streaming to my YouTube right now.
Yeah.
It's once again, take out the doctor. Let me see if I can get my hand correct. Take out the doctor part. Type in Joe Vertino on YouTube and you'll get me. Joe Vertino. It'll come up. There's also a Joseph Vertino, which is also me. I have two of them, technically YouTube channels, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody in chat could get his YouTube channel and post it in there, I'd love that. Thank you so much. So yeah, I could continue. Go on. I just, while you're posting, I saw that because the chat's really good about it. The moderators on there are excellent. They're always like good at putting links and pulling them. So I just wanted to make sure that we were on the right track.
Yeah. Did you say you wanted me to put my YouTube on the comments? Is that what you said, ma'am?
Yeah.
Oh, that what you want me to do?
As long as you don't call me ma'am.
Ma'am.
I felt like, am I older than you, Joe? Is this what I'm like? But are you just? I know you're very respectful. I appreciate that. But that ma'am, I don't know. Keep looking around, like who's a ma'am? And then I was like, oh, it's me. So yeah, you can call me. I mean, I answer by a lot of different things. You just call. Are you just being? Is it because I'm older?
It's whatever you prefer. I mean, wouldn't it be against the point if I called you ma'am, but you didn't prefer it? Wouldn't it be disrespectful?
No, I'm just saying. I want to know if this is an age thing. Is what I'm asking, Joe.
Well, I'm 35 years old, so there's your answer. If I'm older or younger than you. Now that we're
younger, so it is an age thing. Okay.
What?
I said you're younger, so it is an age thing. Is that the problem? No, he's
Absolutely.
not.
I've caught in flack when I say sir and ma'am, and people it's a consistent thing with humanity and me, I guess, and they'll do that thing, and I go, I'm sorry, you're probably wrong, until the day that I go to the ground forever, says my niece. And
no, it's nice. It's nice. I was just wondering if it was an age thing, like because I'm older.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, well, no, it naturally would be an age thing. Yeah, I mean, I have a higher statistical.
Did you know I was older, Joe? Is this what you knew I was older?
I didn't know that you were older.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't an age. I feel so much better now. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. I thought you were just being polite, not to. So yeah, I was just kind of working a little. As a therapist, you learn little tricks in your bag, good tricks.
I forgot you were a therapist.
Yeah.
Now I want to tell a story of an experience I had with a therapist that actually is quite funny and appropriate on a radio show, but I don't want to cut into the time of the series.
No, I would love to hear it.
Waiting, but okay. Well, let me wrap up about my pitch with my.
No, yeah. But after your
website, you'll find as I put on the website, everybody, you will find something you need here, which is basically a very big claim to make. And I don't know, if you can tell by so far in this video how I am, but I'm a very truthful person and I'm very gifted. And that's, like I said, I live up to that claim. And that, if all it takes is people letting themselves, like with the idea of the meditation with the Mario, and when you're letting yourself just follow that excitement to allow your perception to begin to be explored deeper in that way, with the website, it's the same excitement, it's the same person, it's you, and in that way, basically that you taking that and moving with that choice, moving with that excitement. If it's coming to my website, you can be sure that you're going to get something, like I said, that's fulfilling. That's a need, whether it's a subtle need, right? Somewhere in the back of the subconscious back here or something like this, or it's a gross, obvious need. Perhaps if someone was is struggling, they're a trauma survivor. That's a very, very blatant need that I am very equipped to facilitate healing with, in that way. But I guess I'm an appropriate person, generally. So yeah, joevertino.org, podcast, guided meditation, books, music, and me if you want to do one-on-one stuff, and or anything with, generally me just looking for groups and in-person work anywhere in the world at all. But yeah, or if you just want to reach out and be friendly, I encourage that. That I don't take that as, oh, this is professional, you shouldn't try and be friends. Absolutely not. You can be my friend. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, that's cool about you. You're pretty laid back and chill. Like, not some, I want to say spiritual gurus are just kind of, I don't know how to be nice and put it. They're kind of detached, maybe a little dull when it comes to corresponding with people. But you're real charismatic, and you're great. There's Laura. Her name is Laura Pruitt. She wanted me to show you a picture, but I can't get it pulled up. Is it okay for her to send it to you on Facebook?
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
I would love
Okay.
to see the picture that you got inspired to show me. Yes.
Yeah. So Laura, if you're listening, because when she was on a live stream, she had something with the color. I think she's wondering, I don't know, since maybe you do Reiki or whatever, that with the color. So I just wanted to ask you that. Laura, if you have a hard time finding him on Facebook, just DM me and I'll get you in contact. So if she didn't hear that, I'll make sure she does. So go on.
If you go to the website, my website has all of my contact info on it anyways. So Facebook, Instagram, email, even my phone number, I think, is on there. But yeah, it has all of my contact info right on there. So
if you want to prank Joe, no, I'm joking. He's like quickly removing that off of Facebook now. That's awesome. So tell us a therapist story. My son used to call me a pest. I thought that was funny. The therapist.
Well, anyways, I was gonna say something about guru, I guess. Okay, gurus are allowed to make fun of people and laugh at super serious shit. How about that?
Yeah.
That's an
I've got a morbid sense of humor though too. I'm not a guru.
The law. It's just the law of life. That's true. But anyways, okay, so here's the story. So
This ought to be good. He's laughing ahead of time. It's got to be good, or you're going to let us way down. One of the two. No joking. No pressure.
Okay, so the story is yay, friend request. The story is I went out to read poetry here in should I say the town? Just pick yes or no real quick. What do you think? Should I say
matter? You can. I do, but it's totally up to you.
Okay, I won't. I don't care. I'll remain anonymous where I am, even though you can find out in a second on
Facebook. His phone number. Well, I guess when it goes out on the audio, maybe they won't.
I don't want to be here anymore. I need to move.
Joe will be changing his phone number and his location to an undisclosed. Yeah,
I could change the first three numbers, the area code, right, and then keep the rest. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm in Buffalo, New York, Northeast United States. There's a bar here named after the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, and it's called Nietzsche.
Yeah,
which I don't have a problem with any of that. Besides, maybe I don't know. But anyway, so I was out there. This is a therapist story, by the way, not a confessional about my hometown that I need to leave. But so I went out to do a poetry reading, which I've done before, and I went to Nietzsche's at 9 p.m. on Mondays. They do open mic, and I brought my laptop and everything, and I don't have a car right now. So I literally, in the last bus back to my house leaves, and I had to run down the street to get to it on time. So I had to start at 9, and there was like nobody, there wasn't a lot of people, but I was there. And it's very interesting. I won't share any personal details, but there was a therapist who, it started out, she saw me and she said, "What are you drinking?" And I guess I was looking okay. And I was like, "Oh, I'm thinking this is what I think this is. This is a woman, and I'm at a bar, and it's nighttime, and I'm an adult, and this is cool." And she, yay. And she says, "Yeah, what are you drinking?" And I go over there, and I'm like, and I'm there, and we're hanging out, and it's fine. And then it gets all, and then I find out that this person is a therapist. And then it gets to a place where it becomes the opposite of therapy. It becomes that it became a confused person who happens to be a therapist experience for Dr. Joe at a bar. And basically the therapist's job is the clarity. And this person ends up becoming a person that is ultimately confused after being very clear about, "Oh, what are you drinking?" and this thing happening, and then completely being like, "I have like 10 boyfriends and I don't need another one." And it started with that, and then it became that.
They're a mess. Most therapists are
And
a
all I
mess.
remember glaringly is that this person was a therapist. So that's my funny story about it. And it literally was the whole experience in here in
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo. So please.
People think, though, don't you think? Because I was like, man, if we'd sit behind, and I'm telling you that those ladies that I worked with had more going on than 3/4 of my clients. And I was like, how are you holding it together? I mean, it was crazy. But they just know the rules. So they're good about keeping it outside. You don't play in your backyard. My guess is she wasn't at a bar that was within walking distance to her house. She was probably at one that's what we're taught to do, so it's like you don't want to get caught with like in that type of situation. So yeah, I'm just curious, did you find out, was she in her own, like,
yeah, you went into psychoanalysis of it a little bit. Yeah, that's something.
well, that's how what they do when we're in school. That's like 101. It's like,
Yeah.
even when we talk, we're like, oh yeah, you can't. It'd be like taboo to say you were going to your local bar. If one of us were, they'd be like, oh gosh, there's this event going on, and I have to go down to the local bar, and because usually they'd like hit it like maybe 25 minutes. We were in another like state, we were in another area, so that's where, yeah, it's kind of like a therapist thing to do. Then you can go like that. And then if anyone did tell the story, they would never track down the therapist to you. So it's like she'll never be found unless you got her phone number.
Yes. Well,
If
anyway.
you recognize Joe, please, we'd love to know what you were thinking, lady. You got 10 boyfriends and you're just holding it together. Maybe she wasn't a therapist at all. She sounds more like a like the big love type people, not a swinger, but one that like has many, their love is, I don't know, multiplied, not divided, that type deal.
Yeah.
Was it that kind of a bar? Was it that kind of a bar, Joe?
Well, I don't know if the bar is any kind. I think that's we know that from Psychology 101.
I didn't know if it was a swingers bar or if it was like a Mormon bar. I don't know. Like
the bar. So it detracts from your growth because it's not the kind of bar. It's just made of wood and steel and has cups, and hopefully none of them break.
Did it have a theme? Did it have a theme to the bar?
No. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't know. What would Nietzsche's theme be if it was Nietzsche?
Oh, Friedrich Nietzsche. He's dark. I read a lot of his stuff. Huh?
I love Nietzsche. Yeah, I think he's wonderful. Yeah. Anyways, we should we're already at 45 minutes. I was going to say, even though this is lovely, I was going to say, is there more stuff that we should be going into?
Oh, you want to get us back on topic. You just say something, Joe. Gosh, you trailed us off here, and then now but that's good. You're bringing us back. So why don't you go in and go back into tell us about your Zoom calls. Like, people that are listening, they would love to hear about them.
Sure.
Like, what do they expect if we come on to Joe's? Because we should bombard one of these. So you have them on Saturday now, and you also have your Sunday one.
So the Saturday one is the school's app, there's a wonderful guy on there named Mr. Alex Nelson, who's a wonderful yogi, beautiful hair, beautiful personality, basically cares about everything, and is very energetic. And it's a wonderful person to be around. And everybody in the it's called Ascend Pathway. It's just a school group on there. And then basically he included me, and he recognized my talent and stuff, and basically said, yeah, come, hang out and whatever. And yeah, that's just starting out, so anybody can join that if they want to, which I have all over my Facebook, the link for that and everything. And then I have Zen Sunday School Sundays, 11 a.m. EST, which is in my Facebook events. And then I have a Zoom Forward personal alignment, 7:30 p.m. on Sundays EST. So Zen Sunday School is basically an hour of, you get to experience something that is guaranteed good for you, that's free, that you don't have to move an inch every Sunday. And I am just starting out doing that, so I guess it's up to people when they want to start enjoying my groups in that way more. But yeah, I mean, basically Zen, I do the same thing that I did at the beginning with the idea of personal religious experiences, and with each word, Zen Sunday School. And in that kind of way, I kind of provide for each of the three words in the hour. But basically, you are getting a dose of humble honesty, no matter what, guaranteed, which can be very refreshing, for people to just have in their life. And there's absolutely no, nothing, there's no requirement. You don't have to show your face or ask a question, or and you also are allowed to do that as much as you want, within reason. And yeah, basically you get very good advice for life, and you get to maybe feel part of it. I think that's something that would help a lot with that. You feel included. And a lot of the times people, without going into details in that way, for whatever reason, we can feel very, very segregative, or discombobulated, or it can be at my outside of my life, this way is okay, but my insides are not. And something like that could be like a very, like a miraculous thing, I guess. I don't know, not to say that about myself, but yeah. And then Zoom Forward personal alignment is basically what's nice and refreshing about that is that no matter what, one time a week, you can come back and bring your attention back to yourself, and only have it about yourself, right? Even if your husband's like, yeah, go back, to the Joe Vertino thing and do yourself thing. And really, even if that was the case, it would still only be about you, no matter what, and in that way, I guess, to the point that we can't control other people's behaviors, thoughts, beliefs, their actions at all. And naturally, in that way, the gravity is towards that, what I am doing in that group, in the sense that it doesn't have to be this kind of, kind of like black hole cosmic affair, of the reasons of why I am tuning in, to Zoom Forward personal alignment. It can be, there isn't even maybe a reason, so to speak, but it's something that is just natural kind of thing for me to use in my life. And any and all people are welcome, and questions are encouraged, but for that you can expect a sincerity for yourself and your alignment, and in that way, that's a guarantee, that
So
with
what kind of questions? So you kind of go in and you go into like three different like bulleted like items. Is that right? And then that relate, and then you have people ask you questions about their life or I guess what's going on, or can you give me an example?
yeah, I mean, basically what goes on in that is I will present a perspective that is about you, but it is not stepping on your toes, and it is serious and actual. So I do that, and basically then from there, I can go with whatever people's, if there's something coming up in them and they want to share, I would usually give a sufficient kind of answer, I guess, in that way. But I naturally give a objective path, path based, destination based perspective for yourself and only yourself. Uh, that you can take into your uh that you can take into your life, that you have, it can give you kind of like firewood, you know what I mean, in the sense that we have that kind of drive, to kind of our a passion in life, but we're missing the firewood, and that could be like firewood in the sense that you're getting something uh to kind of I guess work with, to use, that phrase. Yeah. In the sense, and sometimes that just takes another person. It takes someone who, like myself, who has a kind of bigger perspective, but it's including everybody. And I guess you could say it comes across as a little scientific in that sense. And that, your emotions and how all of that plays out is your subjective experience of life. And my job in that group is basically to give you the better grip on your steering wheel, so to speak, and what, what are the distractions that would help you to get rid of distractions in your life, so to speak, and it would help you to accept your we could say divinely based aloneness, being your only self, myself, my person, come to terms with that. And that is something that can happen in a snap of a fingers, but it's something that, that kind of acceptance can take time. And yes, and I guess in that way it helps that, this person, Dr. Joe, is holding all of that in his perspective. I say that because on a supportive, psychological, healing, kind of just comfort level, in the sense that if someone's going to be a positive influence in the world, knowing that they are thinking correctly, about life, about everybody, I think is something to that, for people to resonate with, you know yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so you're kind of so you're like a therapist, but not a therapist. In a way.
I am not a therapist, and actually it's funny that you say that. And then, is there a time limit on the show? I mean, we're almost at an hour.
It's longer under 2 hours.
Under 2 hours. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
A while. Geez. I mean, yeah.
We don't have to stay on the entire 2 hours. But I not that I've not done, I used to do 3-hour shows, but StreamYard will only put them into shorts I like generate it itself if I stay under 2 hours. So that's why I say. But you're welcome to talk all night long, Joe, if you'd like.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, anyways, okay, now I feel a little bit better because I was gonna say in the hour mark thing. But yeah, at least we got some serious stuff, out there for people to hear so far in the first hour. So but anyways, okay, what was I saying? I was definitely saying something. What was I saying?
You were talking about being a therapist.
Oh, right. I've said before in my stuff that people could think that I'm a therapist or that I'm a professional psychologist, which is like a super, super compliment. But I'm not, and I'm not going to be, because I'm already set in my dharmic ways, meaning that that would be part of someone's dharmic ways, having a degree in psychology, and mine is already fulfilled. The boat is full of all of the things that it's going to carry to the other shore, and so that would not be relevant for me. But to finish that point, I can seem like a therapist, and I am an expert in the field of medicine. I am a doctor only in and of Reiki. And it's not a doctorate, PhD, college level, courses thing like psychology doctors are, but I am still a doctor. I'm an expert in the field of Reiki, and it's all about the societal benefit, which is why we have titles, so that which has to prove itself, right? So in that way, there is no doubt in me that my work is helpful to people. But in context of, I guess, kind of wrapping up the thing about psychology, I mean, why could I be confused with someone who has a degree in psychology or slash therapy? Because all this truth that is being called forth is one truth. So because I am passionate and I have talent in the field of healing, and I have a deep vocabulary, it translates as the same kind of way that psychologists act or are or speak or seem, right? And in that, in that kind of way, that basically what works is what works. So if I'm that person and then a psychologist is another person, those people are accessing a similar connection with this one truth, right? So that's why, I guess, if that makes sense, that what heals somebody in a therapy session and what would benefit someone hearing it on the video from Dr. Joe is the same exact thing. That does that make sense? Because it's the one truth that we're of healing, so to speak, that's being given. So I understand it that way. So I don't see any qualms, with psychology or therapy at all, in myself, even though I'm not a psychologist. And I, even on a kind of even a basic level, I could say I am at could be competitive, right, with psychology, business wise. I'm a Reiki master. I'm not a psychologist, but I don't do that. It doesn't happen. It could be that, kind of bearing down competition, with all of psychology and something like this. But no, absolutely not. I think psychology is wonderful, and it's very much important, and it's not going anywhere. It's going to be around. We're going to be around, and it's going to help us get better. Yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent. And you know what? I was thinking, Joe, if you wanted to, I could think I can share my screen and they would be able to hear you for live calls. If you would, this would be a good time so people can. So if you guys are out there, I'm going to go ahead and I will put the number in there. And then that way we can see how Joe put Joe to the test. So I'm going to put in there and I'll get the number in for everybody. And that way, if this is something, if you would like to call and ask Joe and talk maybe about, that way we can find out exactly kind of how he does things. I mean, no better way than to do this. So I'm just getting the number really quick here, and hopefully this will work. So yeah, Joe and I were kind of, and it would be okay if it were just me, but the problem is that the people couldn't hear Joe when we had tested it earlier. So I was like, crap. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to be taking live callers, and it'd be 818-854-9533. And I will go ahead and put that up on yep. And we'll get that in hopefully. So don't be shy. Do not be shy, because it always usually takes one person to call in, and then people start calling. So do not be shy. Joe wants to hear from you. I just want to make sure that I have that number right. 818. Did I hopefully 818? Yeah, okay. 254-9533. 254. I think nope, I did not put the right 254. 254-9533. 254. Yep. 9533. So disregard the last one. If you live calls are now going to be taken at 818-254-9533. So you can go ahead and call Joe and ask him yourself directly. So be more than happy to if anybody wants to call that call in line and ask Joe for questions yourself. So yeah. Until then, Joe, you just keep on, like, I guess, do you do any sort of, how do you find out what people's issues are? How does it, like, just talking to them? Do you do some sort of intake or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that way, how do you find out what people's issues are? Yeah, very relevant question. Yeah.
Some people have you fill out forms. Some people do, fact finding, or just a lot of times you can just do it in conversation. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that way, I actually will take an interesting angle and not go into the Reiki territory. I'm actually going to go with the reform of the education system territory to answer this. Some people have asked me, what is the main thing of reform? And the answer is related to this answer of this question, even though they're completely different realms. But it's basically that answer that I gave people for that, where they asked me, what is the first nail to hammer in, of reform? And I said, the willingness to change for the better, right? First strike, right? First, the start of it. So in that kind of way, I actually am bringing that up to answer your question, Miss Coley, because, yeah, how do I know what my issues are? And I would say preferably that's the end of the sentence, in the set of, how do I know what my issues are and everybody's issues in the world forever and ever, right? And just it being about yourself and the attention being there is a lot more peaceful. But in that kind of way, that's a start to it. The willingness to change for the better. And that I use that as an example, right? That kind of hand gesture, it being, what are my issues? And letting that be the end of the sentence, rather than going off into, looking at, pictures from 15 years ago, with family members I'm never going to see again, even if they still probably have a lot of issues in their life, and going into this kind of thing, of what are their issues, and it taking away from progress, because yeah. So the willingness to change for the better is something that brings us into a place of accountability, and you can start to, from the place of accountability, to know and resonate with the reality, so to speak, that would provide for you that relevant truth that happens to be, I would say, maybe always, right, serious, meaning issue based, issue related stuff. So that's my answer. How do you get to that? And that, what I'm saying, is very empowering, in the sense that you right now can start that without me saying, hey, book a thing with me, or watch this video of mine, albeit the same person, right? Of course, my stuff's still great. And other people can help in unforeseen ways, and psychologists would rejoice at that one, that very
I'm no
important.
longer a therapist, Joe.
You're no longer a therapist. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Just by thinking, maybe. Yeah, no, long story short, when the COVID hit down, we had some conflicting viewpoints on that, and I said it was not for me. I did it. I was very good at it. I did it for 7 years, but I worked with children, and once, it just, so I think your path is better. I'm not saying, like, some people, therapists, that's their way to go, but I guess I would want somebody who was not working so much as from a school of all these westernized older, because we haven't had some real new school of thoughts in therapy for quite some time. Like, you going back, even knowing who Friedrich Nietzsche, or you call him Nietzsche, is, you probably are pronouncing it correctly. But it really, like, some of the stuff, do I think, but at least you have that discernment that you can go through. And that's kind of why and somebody's spiritual, you're bringing that spiritual, and that's so important, that aspect of it. And when you talked before about the separation of church and state, well, that right there shows you how they're trying to keep that divided. It's so much so divided in a therapist's office as well. So, for a lot of reasons. So that's why I think that you're doing what you're doing. You're kind of doing that work, but better, because you're not regulated by all these government agencies and, all these like different, like the ACA, the APA, it just like it goes on and on and on. So you're so constricted when you're up in that therapist office, whereas you have the freedom to do a lot more than what we ever did. So that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm flattered and I'm honored to receive those words. Yeah. And I guess in that way it's nice that after hearing that, that I have a lot going on, to help people, in different avenues of life. And I guess I'll go with this. I'll share this point. The two most, I guess, when you live in a way where you aren't afraid of the truth hitting you in the face, you start to get exposed to certain things that translate. It's like God or the universe starts to translate to you personally, and we could say maybe utterly personally. So this is part of that. So something I discovered, the two most, could you explain talent in the field of healing? Absolutely. Yeah. Um, Let me say this real quick and then I'll give an answer to that. Yeah. Yes. So the two most important qualities of life. I discovered this along my way, basically, of being, maybe I could say, a little bit too alone. Now I'm 35, don't have kids, want to have kids, want a lot of friends, obviously, but I was, earlier in my life, I was alone a lot of the time, and it was just what was. And I discovered something, so to speak, in that way that I'll share with you, through being connected to the truth and not being sad and alone, of course. But it was the two most important qualities of life are self-honesty and humility. So self-honesty in that way provides a lot of relief, and it also provides it's actually, you could say, a self-love, the root, we could say, the beginning, the self-love you will happen when you're honest with yourself, which translates as taking yourself seriously, which you can also correlate with self-respect, in that way, and the process of healing, and making choices, that are higher vibrational, that talk about Nietzsche. Here's a cool connection. Woo. Nietzsche came up with his own thing called herd mentality / group think. Now, here in Buffalo, going near the universities and campuses and stuff, I got to experience it firsthand, the kind of gaggle of geese that can be, to be honest, like looking like you, Miss Weber, even though you look beautiful and they look beautiful too. But when you all look the same, your memory it sticks out in your memory. And you've got 10 different people that are all women and they're all in the same age range, but it's almost like when they left the house, they were trying to have people confused if they split up, which one would be the one that was the one that you were after. Like they all look the same and they're, walking the same, talking the same. But there's a danger in it that's called groupthink. That when your head hits the pillow at night, are you satisfied? You could say generally, and one of the things that provides the satisfaction in that unmistakably real moment is the lack of a giving in to this herd mentality, which is very, very real. It's like a peer pressure that has at its root an unconsciousness, and we are conscious beings, right? If someone said, "Oh yeah," right? When they say, "Oh yeah," it's like the consciousness is showing up, right? And I'm remembering this, I'm resonating with this, I'm not being fooled, right? And the consciousness is there. So anyways, Nietzsche came up with
Did I tell you, this is just sidetrack real quick, but do you know what SNX stands for? It's subnation. X, and what that stands for, it's a polymorph word, subliminal dissemination. So I get where you're going with that. Very interesting, and how much we can pick up in that unconscious mind or that realm, but when it's very intentional, maybe by other people.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to that. I mean, I kind of want to go into that a little bit. Let me finish. Okay. So self-honesty and humility. So self-honesty in that way is kind of like allowing yourself to face it's like when you're facing a wall, right? And you're sitting and all there is and what there's going to be is just a wall in front of you. And that you are allowing your experience that's already happening. You don't have to make it happen, right? You're allowing that to be so much so that your attention starts to resonate more and more with whatever your authentic experience is. So that's why that's super important, right? And you can start doing that like I mentioned earlier, like that instantaneous thing, of kind of like a spark, snapping my fingers. You can start that right now, right? And literally you can pick a wall and let yourself, now you have the good reason for it, right? And let yourself be honest with yourself, which doesn't mean you have to write a journal entry, or anything like this, but that you don't have to, it doesn't have to become anyone else's business forever, and you just allow yourself to to have the relief of, surrendering to what is already the case. And that's what that is. And then humility is basically, I am never going to be anyone else. Those people are never going to be me. And that's just true. And that there can be I would say, instead of a relief, I would say a strength. A lot of the times people struggle with, where is strength? What is strength? How do I get to be actually strong? Well, in that way, you start with what is actually true, which is that. And in that way, the herd mentality actually can become sliced in half by humility, because it's based in a lack of connection, an adequate amount of connection with that truth, that I am only me and I'm never going to be different or outside of my own self, for all of time. I'm born in as this and I will die as this, in context. And that in that way, further humility would allow you to go further rather than backward, because, oh, okay, I'm only me and I need help, and I am allowed, because I'm paying attention, to myself, because I'm the only one here. And then you could start acting in alignment with what is actually the truth, what is actually the case. And that's why people who are humble won't be afraid of going up to the president and asking them for what they need, or, and having that conversation, that needs to happen, because all of it is resonant with the truth. And the only thing that you can say sometimes that's blocking that from happening is arrogance, which is the opposite of humility.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that ego, the death of the ego, is very hard for a lot of people. Don't you think?
Oh,
Not the death of the ego?
I mean, ego loss is a topic. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's
But isn't that kind of what that would be,
no,
like, similar to somebody's ego that you're talking about, or no?
yeah, no, I mean, that's not far off. That's a fair comparison. Yeah, humility, lack of humility, ego, and the how about this, in the sense of, like, when someone is struggling in egoic ways, what can happen is their dissociation from the shared reality, right? Like if your husband, was stomping around the kitchen at 1 a.m. while you're trying to sleep to get up and do whatever that you're going to do, which obviously matters, right? And he knows, that you have to do that, but that's happening. That's egoic in the sense because it is in that way, it's like a disconnection from this,
What if
relevant
you
shared
had a
experience.
husband that was doing that and you booby trapped kitchen?
Then he would be dead, maybe.
He would learn not to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, in that way that acceptance, if you want to see the sword of the ego would be acceptance, right? Because the ego, if you look at every single possible thing that would be this kind of mechanism, safely analyzing our own self, what you would notice is that acceptance is nowhere in it.
And you know what? I maybe I should back up on my definition of like when I talk about the death of the ego. Like I'm going to like, I mean, not necessarily like something that, but that of seeing yourself as, I guess if you've ever done like a Native American ceremony, like a Cambo or a Bufo ceremony, it's the death of the ego because you're going outside and you're seeing something much bigger than yourself is kind of where I'm going with it. Like when you start to see things in that perspective, that there's a world that's just not you, that there's, much bigger out there other than yourself, it kind of puts things into a different perspective.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, in that way, now this is something that I would love to get into. And this actually is very serious for me. And we naturally kind of float into it, like a river. And already mentioning, it sounded like you were mentioning Native American. Was it Native American? Yeah. That one of my on my bucket list is to speak, openly and honestly and seriously in front of Native American people about Native American people and have that experience personally as an orator and a professional, positive influence in the world. But anyways, okay, so that's on my bucket list. Now you know that. Snapple fact about Dr. Joe. Okay. But basically, yeah, I mean, in this way that what makes drug trips good is the acceptance, right? The acceptance literally is what makes drug trips good.
They call it medicine.
Yeah, medicine, of course.
I'm joking. Go ahead. I'm only messing you a little.
By the way, I can never ever do drugs ever again. And I'm also a lightweight when it comes to drinking alcohol. I can smoke cigarettes, obviously, and drink coffee within reason, but that's it for me for drugs. But this is going to be cool because if we talk about drugs, what's going to be cool about this, and this has been something that I've been hoping happens, because I'm very comfortable with people that use drugs. I'm not at a place where I'm like, go away. I don't want to smell you. I don't want to even think about what you believe. None of that. It's open arms with me. I don't, but I will be in hell if I touch another drug ever again. But the thing is, I guess with this, if you want to go into it, I can go into it now, my spiel with drugs, because it is a spiel. I don't know if there's anything else I should say before I go into it or that we were on, but
Well, I would like to know, I guess, if you're not going for the medicine man at the Native American ceremonies, what is your goal to go in front of them and I guess why that have your target audience on your bucket list?
well, yeah. So yeah, Native American people, I see them as unmistakably proud. And as I refer to myself as Mr. Leo in a lot of my spiritual content. And that's very much a positive trait, not just for Native American people or for Leos, being proud. So I have that universal connection in my own mind about it. Um, and also, I have a lot to say that is personal and professional, that is relating to culture, and that I'm very open with my speech, and we're all supposed to be. And so that's
Oh, the lion. I got you. Okay,
what are
spiritual
you
sense.
saying?
No, I always think of the Native American. It didn't when you were saying Leo, it didn't dawn on me because they always have the lion. I was
Yeah.
always a lion, the lion's gate. I never understood it. And then Spiritual Ascension in chat put a picture of the lion, and I was like, oh, Leo, lion. I got you. So is that the correlation or the connection with Leo? Because am I way off again?
No, that's what Leo is. Yeah, we're the lion. Yeah. It's my
Yeah, no,
zero.
no, I just didn't know. I wasn't taking that extra step until I saw her put it in chat. Like I was like, Leo. Well, I did understand why the Native American people and Leo, what the connection was. I was struggling.
Well, yeah. So basically, in this way, that I guess me sharing my, this is what I'll connect it with. I have it ties into the reform of the education system work. Basically, the A Completer Life on Earth School by Dr. Joe, 4 base courses: cultural appreciation, life skills, etiquette, and proper perspective on healing. And then my opportunities for growth, which is the vision. So all of this is mine that I came up with. And basically, that the Native American people in that way obviously would be included in cultural appreciation, the course. But I guess in that kind of way that the yeah, I mean, I guess in that way that the connection that we all have as human beings, you could say, on the earth, some Native American people, it's fair to say, of what is it, to the earth, right? In that way, they have their own religion that's very, very important. And I don't know what words to say after that, right? That they would be Native American words. But yeah, no, I don't know if you're familiar with the words Great Spirit, which is Native American um, language about, in English, about God, and about a biggerness, a biggerness. And that basically, that in that way, that whose business is that? Everybody's business. And why not? I mean, naturally, I mean, I feel like I am comfortable, in my own skin, um, with my speech about Native American culture, which obviously isn't going away, just like psychology. And basically, and I'm born in the territory, so I'm in, Buffalo. We have the words here: Tonawanda.
Moving.
What's that? What?
I'm joking. I said, so you're not going to be moving tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Well, no, I would though. I mean, that's the other thing. It's about life. It's
When
about
you're
joy.
talking in the beginning about your phone number.
Toilet in Sedona, Arizona. It's about right? But yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, basically that. Yeah. So in that way, I mean, I guess that. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hoping. That someday I get to share my spiel, about life technically, which comes down to education system reform, what I've come up with that is helpful, to our species, sharing it with Native American people. And if it came down to it, I would say, if the Native American people said, if there is a white man or a black man or another colored man, we are not going to let you do this, I'd say, kick them out, kick them out, kick them out. Let's do it. Dr. Joe and the
Yeah.
Native American people, and he is going to talk to you and enjoy checking it off of his bucket list. But yeah, no,
If you were going to give him the drug talk, you better
yeah, we were going to do the drug
medicine. Yeah, the medicine.
Yeah.
Because they might boo you off their stage.
If I did that with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Just saying. Sorry. I mean, it doesn't, if they did, I mean, if I don't want you not to be authentic and genuine. I'm just saying that they might at that point, like, boo you.
well, in that way, that's a good boo, right?
Yeah.
Because the education system reform stuff is so serious. And what are you doing?
Your programming is booing me. It's not, just don't take it personal.
Yeah.
The programming.
Yeah, I mean, basically then, so, and like I said, I would love to talk about that too, the name of your radio show and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's, that's some stuff that, that's some stuff to talk about. But yeah, we're at an hour and a half. Anyways, do you want me to do the drug spiel?
If you can do it, like I'm
Yeah.
I'm not authority. Like, yeah, this is there's no dictatorship here whatsoever. You're free to. This is your show. I'm just here hosting it, so I'll let you lead the way.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I am a good leader.
Keeping
That's the
time.
Leo thing.
You're
I got
gonna
to say it,
keep time.
Mr. Leo. Yes. But anyways, so but yeah, so basically, so actually this is a cool, now I'm rambling about leadership, like the ultimate serious, topic of all time. But yeah, I was gonna say leadership in that way. Leo, the sign of Leo, there's 4 categories of the zodiac. The fixed signs, the keep your cats off my trunk.
Oh, I meant to. This comment is what I must. She must have put that right as I was clicking it. Sorry.
But yeah,
What's your type of leadership, Joe?
yes, I'll give a spiel on leadership. So now I'll start this with I am in the place of understanding that it is a global thing, leadership, right? Because I know as a North American, as a United States citizen and person who's still here and has been speaking on a video about all kinds of stuff, it could be, for some people not clear that this person doesn't understand leadership applies in the entire world, not just in North America and with our founding fathers. I just feel more comfortable saying that first about something as super important as talking about leadership. So anyways, basically in this way, sticking with my point where I started with about, says Mr. Leo, about the zodiac, there's 4 categories of the zodiac. Cardinal, if I remember all of them, if I don't, you'll still get the point. But cardinal, fixed, what is it? Air, or the elements: air, earth, water, and fire. So those are the elements, and then inside of all of those is the other categories: fixed. What was the other one? I can only remember the 2. Fixed, like I'm fixed in place, like a statue. Cardinal is another one, which I think is almost like the opposite of fixed in the sense of like the bird, like there's a movement kind of to it. And then there's 2 other ones, which I'm unfortunately forgetting. But Leo is a fixed sign. And then Taurus is also a fixed sign. Leo is a fire sign, and Taurus is an earth sign. So in this way, says Mr. Leo, who goes down, whether to the depths of hell or to the heights of heaven as the leader, is the Leo, the sign of Leo. We are. And Leo is a fixed sign, which means that, like a statue, right? So I'm fixed in place. And where do we want our leaders to be? We want them to be still, fixed, so we can stare at them, so we can observe everything that they possibly could be doing, right? So that's my start on a talk about leadership. And in that way, that the more comfortable we are naturally with our leaders' existence, the better life would be generally, right? So in that way, then you can basically translate that beginning of that I'm just shared with you all the way down, meaning that what are all the facets of the idea of the leader being fixed, being like a statue, being still? They're on a spiritual guidance level, I say you're more exuding of peace. You are also, more easily approachable in that way. You are someone who is comfortable with receiving the attention naturally, and in that way that also it could exemplify the leaders listening, right? Listening. So all of that super serious, leadership business and stuff, no matter what group or, category, nation, that the leader that it applies to. And then basically, I guess connecting that, psychologically is that all of this is okay. As the sociologists, all of this kind of expose on leadership it's okay for me to say it. It's okay for you to hear it. It's okay for us, to be human about it. It's technically, I see it as someone who believes in God. I think of Archangel Michael, very much depicted as the ultimate statue, the archangel, not a human being, an archangel, and his name means the one, not the many, the one who is like God. Of all the archangels, he's the leader and the only archangel that's like God. And in that way, what is he? Fixed. And what is he about? Protection, safety, and then ultimately truth. Because there's an inextricable link, and this is still about leadership, by the way. There's an inextricable link between safety and truth. Now, if you want to get to the real thing, that all of that is our business. How do we get to that? How do we start to resonate with the connection of safety and then truth? Meaning that I would say, ultimately it would come down to self-responsibility, that us being responsible right here, right now, as a single self is that beginning of it, no matter what. And that, going back to that quality, self-honesty and humility, self-honesty, when you're honest with yourself, then that truth, you start to build that bridge between what makes me safe and then what actually is true, right? And then you start to move forward in that way. But yeah, that's very serious stuff that, I just shared, I guess, obviously, coming from the place of leadership and talking about leadership. But yeah, I also, go
Some
ahead.
people, I was going to say that, not everybody is a leader, and that's okay, because not everybody needs to be a leader. But we do need people in places of leadership. We do need people acting and doing better than if you're looking at the grands, like you were talking about, and in any grand political theater we're talking, or it doesn't matter. It seems like along the way, the real people that are in and are having some of these leadership positions, like even in this field or in this community, are not the ones that should be there. But I think that there is definitely a need for people to take on and more on that leadership role, for sure, especially when it comes to their own lives. Nobody's going to save you. That would be nice.
Yeah,
Save you.
yeah. This is a thing, I guess, is that now if you can start to see the benefit of my advice to you, which I actually did give a little bit of a forethought, reason thing about with I'm enjoying this hand position a lot, says Mr. Leo. This is so comfortable for me. It looks like claws, doesn't it? It looks like paws. I like this. Anyways, okay, so peaceful opening of food hands. I don't know.
Attention, yeah. No, I have my little thing too when I get going.
He has the shaman guy. He says, "Come here, let me tell you a secret." And he's the monkey with the staff thing. Come here, and then he does the thing, and then he starts going, "Hush banana, squash banana, hush banana, squash banana, banana, banana." That was. But yes, anyways, okay, what was I saying? Okay, so the thing about this is, oh yeah, cool thing to say, sir. Thank you for saying that. Yes. But so basically self-responsibility, right? Because ultimately, like you said, no matter how are we all leaders, right? Says Mr. Leo, the sun, how are we all leaders? We're all leaders because we have to lead our own lives. And what did I advise? I said self and only self responsibility. Yes. And then, yeah. And then, but yeah, I mean, basically, if you talk about the inevitability of life forming groups, right? Which is not herd mentality. It is not groupthink. It is survival, belonging, communication, preference, individualism. All of that is in that of group formation. The existence of groups. And the groups, geopolitics is groups based. I mean, if you simplify it into red and blue, different colors, and very obviously different of Republican and Democrat, to put it kind of blankly that way, in that way. And it's very clear that leadership is very present in our world in geopolitics. To me, it's unmistakable. Doesn't take a subconscious psychoanalyst to conclude that, after watching some TV with politics, and back to the beautiful realm, which I'm very fond of sociology, is obviously is correlated, in that. But yeah, I mean, I guess in that way that, when you take my advice, I guess, so to speak, whether you already have been or this is something you need, it's a little bit kind of showing up for you tonight, of self-responsibility in context of, just yourself and leading your own self. What happens is when you do that, when you heed that, when you respect that truth that's being told right now, the thing for yourself starts to show up. So the group, right? Your tribe. We already started talking about Native American people, right? Your tribe, your the place and people and times that are meant for you. And basically that's hope, that's pure hope. And you, in that way, your concrete step, right? Unlike maybe if you, to use an extreme example, if you went to church and you were there and you were expecting a concrete, solid solidity, right, to be there, and maybe your foot missed the step, right? And so in this way, here it is, you being responsible for yourself and allowing yourself to indulge in leading your own life is that because it's letting you connect. It's not segregating you. It's not separating you. It's connecting. It's a connective existence. It's a connective truth, in that way. And that we can understand rationally. We have an entire life to live. God wants us to live out our entire natural life, and I'll say, as a healer, for the purposes of healing, right? So that we can heal, so that our eternal soul can experience as much healing as it can take in this lifetime. Anyways.
Oh, Polly had a question. I'm not sure if you could see the screen or not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Question time.
Yes. Go ahead.
I can read it if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since trauma is very personal and CPTSD so complicated.
Yeah.
How do you apply? You told us on your groups, especially if you are not a psychiatrist, do your groups include also that help? So
it's
naturally,
complex. Yeah, PTSD. Sorry.
Yeah, no, any and all people generally, but in that way, I would say there's a little bit more of an appropriateness to someone who has this with me than even with other spiritual guides. in the sense that spiritual guidance, it doesn't my kind of shine, I guess in that kind of way, is healing. So other spiritual guides might have more of a brazen or fiery or kind of aggressive shine or spin or feel. Mine is more in that way. I would say I don't shy away from the truth, but my utmost priority is always healing and always will be. So you're very much welcome to any and all of the groups. And certainly, let me see. Okay, so the website is on the comments, joevertino.org. If you go to the website, hopefully the website isn't messing up. I know sometimes I'm hoping to get a new website, to be honest. Some of the words are a little skewed, but there's a section that says events in bold black letters somewhere on the homepage, and it has them. But if you go to my Facebook, which is what it's going to take you to, I'll type it in here, and you send me a friend request, a follow if you want or don't, and you can still just as easily go to the events. There'll be Zen Sunday School, and they will be links all over this Facebook name I'm about to share in the comments, okay? So I'll say Facebook for speaker on the right, Dr. Joe. His groups are all about the posts on his timeline. They're all in my timeline, all accessible through there.
I don't think you put it. I can put it on the. I think you put it in the private chat.
Oh, is mine not public? Chat with
You
everyone
should
in this
be able to.
studio. How do you
Yeah.
make it unprivate?
So yours,
Doesn't do it.
let's do it. So you would have to just take it and then you would put it into the because do you see where the comments are? Otherwise, I can just take it and put it there for you.
Yeah, if you can put joevertino.org, and then you can put Facebook Joe Hastings Vertino in quotes. And
I'm just going to copy and paste what you put. Is that okay?
Perfect.
And that way, here, I wouldn't make a good secretary. So let's see. Gotcha. Here we go. All right. And there we go. Did everybody see it? Did it not go through? I feel like.
Yeah, it's there. I think it went. Yeah. Okay. Joe Hastings Vertino, Facebook. Yeah, there I am. So yes. So the Saturday one is the Path of Healing, but my website has all kinds of stuff, and it's all personal and confidential with me if you message me. And even if we can take the conversation anywhere at all. If you want to do one-on-one work or anything at all, that's literally why I exist. So you found someone for you.
Found someone for you? Did I say? You lost me.
I hear you.
Somehow I feel like this all got turned on. No, I just wanted to make sure that are we reading the comments?
Oh, is there another? Let me see.
No, I just, you said, I didn't know.
Hers, I think, was her question just basically, how do I get into my groups?
So everything everything needed to go out,
Okay.
right? That way I
think
out.
that's all she asked me. I don't think
I've copied and pasted everything.
Oh, yeah, no, thank you. Yeah,
No,
I
I
saw
think
that
it's
there. Yeah. Okay.
I saw a different variation to your website. That's why I was asking. I can't find it now though. It was like, I think Polly had put it up there. Did you have something on Squarespace too?
Yeah, it's the same website. There's a Dr. Joe Vertino .squarespace.com, but it's the same exact website.
I got you. I was just making sure because I saw it and then I was looking back. That's this one right here.
Same exact website. Yeah.
All right. So where do people have to go get registered for your Sunday school and your Saturday shindig?
Yeah, there's no registration, but if you want to say hi beforehand, you can. Basically, it's on my posts on my Facebook timeline. You'll see blatant kind of posts on there, and like the one on there that has the alien faces. It's in the chat. You're good. Okay, thanks. The one that has like the alien faces, because we were gonna talk about that stuff tonight. I thought we didn't really get to it, but it was great. We still have 15 minutes. We can talk about it. But yeah, if you go to my Facebook, that's the easiest way. So as long as you connect to my Facebook, like, follow, subscribe, add friend is fine. Send a message to remember or connect with me. And it's under my events, the Sunday School, Zen Sunday School, and Zoom Forward, which are only me, and only on Sundays and they're free, are just my Facebook profile events. And then there's a Saturday group that is a school app thing. That's the Path of Healing. That's going on Saturdays at 4 p.m. And then I have Facebook Lives that you can go on to, or you can even request. You say, hey, Joe, you want to do a live together? Do you want to, can you maybe cover this in a live? And what do you think about this in my life, which is personal confidential question territory? Any and all of that's what I'm about. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess, and I would love to have you back on. You're more than welcome to come back on. I always look forward to having you on. I'm not sure, I know that there's a lot when it comes to ET and a lot of trauma, because that's really the only way through to some of the ET stuff is trauma. And I think a lot of, and what I'm seeing in chat and too, is like a lot of people in there are they want to know, is that like something that you mentioned it before, I guess, like before we close with the ET, like, is that something that you're knowledgeable about? I mean, not everybody, just because you come on here, like, they assume ET, but, I guess, what is your connection to that? Or is, for people who've had these, and even with like the paranormal in here, like Laura, she's like literally some of the stuff I've seen her in her pictures, what she's dealing with is so outside the spectrum of what you would call your normal, type of environment. So is this something you could handle, I guess?
So yeah, I mean, that's a wonderfully said. Thank you. I mean, I just where to start? And I'm very careful with my words. Sometimes people aren't, in context of talking, and you already mentioned the word ET, like the movie ET, the extraterrestrial, right? I have one here. Actually, I'll show you. Look. Ooh.
Not again, Joe. We are. Oh,
it's me. Oh, his head.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna. I was like, that's funny. That's ET. You got it. ET phone home. So you're like ET. I just always remember when you were saying ET riding the basket, in that one movie.
That's right. That was me.
Yeah. ET. Yeah, as a kid, you did that.
So, okay.
No, with you keep a poker face when you're. So I have a hard time reading with your humor or not. So yeah, I'll get it though. Not that I'm analyzing you, but
yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you for just my personality. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh.
No. Okay. So let's talk about. This is so beautiful. His beautiful blue eyes, doesn't he? Can you see them? They're kind of blue.
Yeah. There are some theories as to why ET's eyes are all black, and when they're here, they say they're really sensitive to the sun, that they do have colored eyes. I don't know for sure. I've not seen the others, but an interesting tidbit of information right there.
Yeah. No. Okay. So let's start. You said we're under 2 hours, so we have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Go. ET stuff. Okay. So this is the thing: is that life is not a race. Life is not a race in both meanings of the words. A race like a foot race, that we're getting to the place as quickly as we can, which is basically, might as well be what? Where? Who? When? That always changes.
I say life is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah. And then the other meaning of the word is race, like a specific race, only one race. Like I'm Germanic, or I'm Hispanic, right? Or I'm Arcturian, right? So in that way, life is neither a race, like potato sack race, or a race, meaning only one race. So in that way, that's kind of my introduction to extraterrestrial talk with Dr. Joe. So in that way, you can maybe naturally feel a little bit more at ease about it, because that's a pretty serious thing, that we're talking about potentially all life everywhere, right? All life everywhere, and that in that way that we are what? We are part of that. And then that's it, right? Because we can't be all of it. We're part of it. But in that way, we're included in it. And we get to, have this personal experience in it, of it. So that's basically what we're doing right now for 10 minutes. But yes, and we have been, but yes. Okay. So there's it's a little different, right? When we're talking about this stuff. So
You're reading, Joe.
anyways, one thing I could do right now is I could ramble on about all of this information that I have that's left-brained, right? Of different facts and, about different, ideas, concepts of different beings in the universe, and what does that have to do with us on planet Earth? And the right-brained idea would be more of the feeling, feeling into this, part of the video, in that kind of way. And all of that is appropriate. And no matter what we're doing right now is we are, hello, bless you. This is wonderful. Glad these people, I'm loving that they're here. Oh my God. But basically that, in that way, all of that's good, right? We're meant to use what? We're meant to use our brains, right? Rather than what? Rather than not. So what is encouraging us using our brain is that perspective I just shared, that we have a left brain and we have a right brain, and they're distinct, right? And they're, in that way, the left brain has a certain function, the right brain has a certain function, right? And left brain, we only have 7 minutes left, but in that,
Yeah.
we'll do this. We'll do this one. I will go through and I'll say some cool, technically left-brained, and I happen to be a man, right? Starting with the left brain or whatever. But because left brain is masculine, right brain is feminine. I'm left hand dominant, if that makes you feel any better. But anyway, so okay, so starting in this way, what I want you to do is allow the right brain to activate while I'm starting this, and just feel, right? So I'm going to share some information that's technically only about ET consciousness, right? That there's an otherworldly ness that we are allowing ourselves to hear right now, right? So yeah. So anyways, so to start with this, no matter what we think about life and what's really going on, right? Which is a big sentence, a big phrase for a lot of the people that are investing their time in this specific arena of thought, right? Of ET stuff. You'll hear words like starseed, you'll hear words like alien, and dimensions and evolution and light and love and awareness, right? And in this kind of way, ascension, So in that way, that people that are in this place, like myself, are I'm comfortable, at any in any way, with it, and not everybody is, and that's, I would say, I would, hope that people start to move towards being comfortable generally, to say something about it. But yeah, in the sense that we already kind of are in it. We're already here. We're already, but anyway, so this idea is that there's different races besides just what we can say is human. And human means the man who is of color, right? Hue meaning like a hue, right? Color, right? And man meaning like my form, my, me, this. And that there's that's us, right? So to speak. And that this idea is, well, is there life that exists, that when we look outside of our children who are next to us on the earth and look that way, which happens to be like the sun and the stars and the sky, is there life there? Just right. So in that kind of way, that if we allow ourselves to maybe lean a little bit thinking, yeah, okay, then you start to get to this idea called star seeds. Star seeds. So star seeds, two different words put together, makes its own word. Star seed. Star meaning other than the earth, right? So the humans are here on the earth, their kids are next to them. And then the other, the there, is their life there, is the star. And then seed means like life. So it's like, yes, right? So then basically star seed comes from that idea that, and then basically that there is a differentness that is possible that we can resonate with as an individual who is a human on the earth, but it's somehow, some way possible that, and it's connected to other life that isn't per se human, right? And this is that's a big whoa. That's a yeah, that's a big kettle of fish, right? So in that kind of way that, you know, in this way, I'll share about myself. I resonate, in this kind of way with the stuff that I'm saying. And our galaxy, right?
So,
So
Kurt, or excuse me, I was wanting to listen. So, Joe, do you think that do you have you experienced ET or UFO? I have to ask when you just said that.
yeah, yeah, we can go with that. Yes, yes, yes. Have I experienced ET or UFO stuff? I am a sensitive being, and I haven't like seen a UFO, with my physical eyes, but I have been very open, and observant my whole life. And I guess in that way, I've connected dots for myself, I guess would be my answer, that are supplemental, that are fulfilling, that are adequate. Evidence is a word, in there, but yeah. And I guess, um, yeah, that it ultimately comes down to our relationship with creation, and I even think of Reiki, the universal energy. I like to call it the universal white light of God. Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
No, I just didn't know if you had, and not all experiencers like have seen the crafts, or it's a lot of when you go into that spiritual side of things. But if we want clips, and we definitely do shorts, we have to end this. But Joe, I'd love to invite you to come back.
yay, 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 yay.
Does that work for you?
Please.
Otherwise, because
I would
we're
love
like
to come back. Yeah.
under. If I don't end this stream, and we're not even going to do the outro, everybody. So if we don't end it now, then we don't get all those nice clips, and it'll be like a lot of. So otherwise, StreamYard will do it for me. So that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you all.
Yep.
Website
Thank you, everybody. Yes, your website, go on there. Okay, tell them again, Joe, really quick.
JoeVertino.org, and you'll find something you need, something fulfilling in there, guaranteed. And please don't be shy, and message me anything at all. I'm here for you. That's why I exist. So
all right. Well, thank you, Joe, and thank you, everybody. We have to end this quick just so we have that. And I apologize.